Hello, my friends. Welcome to the show, Jack Chow on East West with G&E TV. Yes, joining me is my good friend, Mr. Ling Ying-Ku, Dr. Ling Ying-Ku. He's got his doctorship with Carnegie
Mellon University in computer
Carnegie
science.
Mellon University back, 3 years ago?
Yes, 4 years ago.
4 years ago.
Yes.
Young as he is, I share lots of things in common with him. So that's why I invited him today for this special discussion about the Chinese, the Liang Hui. Oh, by the way, the word Liang Hui is already officially accepted by some Webster dictionary systems.
Wow.
And also you can call it two sessions. You can call the NPC&CPPCC.
Yes.
Altogether different ways. But anyway, is the China Political Consultant Committee Conference.
Yes.
And also the Chinese People Representatives Conference. Right?
That's right.
Okay. Yeah. Now, right now, those two are in session, and we've just heard the report made by Mr. Li Keqiang,
yes,
Premier of China, which was supposed to set forth, number one, the summary on the last year, and also set forth for the next years to come, something like that.
Right.
So in the discussion today, Dr. Ling Ying-Ku and I would share lots of points with you about what to discuss, what to expect, and how we think China can handle their issues,
yes,
and things like that, right?
Right.
So I believe that you and I all read about the report,
yes,
governmental report, which is called the State of Union, kind of like that,
yes,
right?
Mm-hmm.
Made by Premier Li Keqiang.
Yes.
What is your overall comment about it?
Because like my background is machine learning,
Mm-hmm.
computer science.
Mm.
So I always try to look at the report first from numbers,
and
try to understand from the numbers can I see something behind the report, and that's important things.
All right.
And to me, let me just give you several numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Premium Keqiang Li just mentioned last year for our GDP growth rate, which is really good. We got 7.7%. And consider the volume and the size of our economy. And for the past 30 years, we have been keeping this high. Oh,
再等一下，从哪儿开始？从那个 Dr. Gu 一开始说话的时候开始，重来一遍。你把这个人称换一下。
好，
都用 China，不要用 our。
对对对，
都换一把人称换一下。
好，
从那个我问你的 overall summary，right？overall impression。
好，
那一开始你说从我的这学术角度出发，
对，
我重视数据啊等等等等，他们的数据，他们的
China，
他们。
对，我们是从一个
我们从那个
第三方中立的角度，
把我们的那个这个 position 搞清楚。
好
，OK，
没问题。
重来，OK。So 你开始就你说啊。
Okay, because my background is machine learning and computer science, so I always like to look at the report from numbers. So after I look at the report, and I do see some numbers actually are very interesting. Premium Keqiang Li gave us the growth rate for China, and the past year, the growth rate is 7.7%.
The GDP growth rate.
Yes,
right?
the GDP growth rate is 7.7%. For China, it's a great achievement because over the past 30 years, I don't think there are so many countries they can keep this high growth rate for such a long time. And at the same time, if we look at the unemployment rate, which is also pretty good, only 4.1% compared to most of the developed country, that is another great achievement. And at the same time, when we look at the CPI, CPI is not high. It's 2.6%. So that is also very nice. Now let's look at what is the goal for China to go for next year. If we look at the growth rate target for GDP is 7.5%, which is a little bit lower compared to last year.
7.7
to 7.5.
To 7.5,
right.
yes.
And now we look at the unemployment, and the target is 4.6% compared to 4.1%, a little bit higher.
which gives allowance, some kind of tolerance.
A little bit of tolerance, exactly. And finally, if we look at the CPI, which I think is a little bit larger, and at this moment is 3.5 compared to 2.6.
All right. So 3.5 versus the coming year for 2.6.
2.6 was last year, and the target for the new CPI is 3.5.
Oh, again, it allows some kind of tolerance.
Exactly.
Right,
yeah. So I think Premium Keqiang Li tried to give us the hint from the inside of China, and also by looking at outside of the general international environment, everything is changing. And given that said, we should be prepared for a little bit headway. But the headway shouldn't be a problem for China to conquer. That's the reason for China. They want to leave, like I said, a little bit of room for the tolerance and try to make the whole economy as robust as possible.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. Reading the report made by Premier Li Keqiang, I feel that I'm under the impression that China reduces the weight on the emphasis of the GDP growth.
Yes.
Am I right?
Yes.
Whereas
definitely.
in the past was such a heavy emphasis on GDP, right?
Yes.
Right now it kind of slows down a little bit. What does that indicate to you?
To me, I think that is definitely a correct direction to go forward.
Oh yeah, is that right?
Yeah. If we just look at the entire history for human beings, not only just for Chinese history, and even we look at the developed country from West European countries or from North America, Canada, and the US, we always see a very similar path. At the very beginning, people had no luxury to think about anything. The first priority is their stomach. And they try to think about what the food I'm going to get tomorrow.
To feed the mouth.
Exactly. So eventually, the economy will be always the first priority for a developing country to think about and move forward. But people, the difference between human being compared to animals is because we have much higher level of desirement. And those desirements are totally different from just feed our mouth and think about the stomach. So it's always true. After no matter which country, US, China, and any type of country, reach certain type of the level of the economy scale, and they are going to think about something different. And what would be the something different? If we look at the foundation as a building, then I would say economy is the foundation of the country.
Sure.
But if we look at anything on top of it, then we can think about a lot of things. And political reform or anti-corruption or environment issues the fairness, justice, and all these type of things will be, I believe, will be the new priority for the new Chinese government to think about.
In other words, you're saying that the for developing countries, especially at the very beginning stage though,
Yes.
it is their job to meet with the basic demand.
Yes.
Right? After the basic demand is met though, things are getting more complicated.
Right.
So it's not a kind of like from time and hate ratio though. You're not expecting like this.
Right.
You're expecting something this way.
Yes.
The curve, it curves towards flat.
Exactly.
Right? Okay, I see.
Yeah.
I understand. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, good. Well, there are lots of issues to talk about, and I read some kind of prerequisites about the report. Though there were about 60 points, checkpoints, right?
Exactly.
And Li Keqiang seems to be answering all of them, if not all of them, but the majority of them, right?
Right.
So let's take a very short moment now. When we come back, shall we do this? Shall we, to our understanding, right?
Yeah.
Our understanding means that we, being the same origin, from the same origin as Chinese,
Yes.
now we are Chinese Americans,
Right.
to look back with an understanding of both countries, both the economy, both culture, both concept, right?
Right.
To look back to see the prioritizations.
Right.
You know what? Okay. So what to you is the most important? We need to jump on it right away.
Yes.
Right. Like that kind. All right,
Okay.
let's take a short moment out. When we come back, we'll find out more. Stay with us, please. Thank you.